Ladies and gentlemen, now on the convention floor, Toxic Fumes Toys!
Hey-o.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
You living the dream?
Living the dream, sitting there 9 hours a day, chatting with people on a small screen. That's an interesting dream, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Desperate times, desperate measures.
So for the people who have never met you before, I've never met you in person. Can you just introduce yourself to everyone? And
I am Joel. Countryman's my name. I normally hide that, but for reasons we'll probably get into. I'm Toxic Fumes Toys, hailing from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, representing the Toronto Art Collective, I suppose.
nice.
Yeah, I make resin toys.
And why is it that you would want to hide your name?
I am an elementary teacher and I just have this weird privacy thing. So I'm also in like a band, which in that, like, I won't let them ever use my last name in anything. Like, all publicity just needs to be Joel, or my band is called Frank Dukes after Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport. So I'll just get them. Get them. I appreciate that. I'll just get them to call me Joel Dukes just because, I don't know, I've had in the history of doing this, so I guess like I've been taking toy making, I guess this would actually be the 3-year anniversary. I was taking it seriously because this is the day I made my account 3 years ago, Toxic Fumes Toys, aside from like my private one. Only I think one student has found me out because I got written up in a local horror magazine. Well, not local, they're worldwide, Rue Morgue magazine. And the guy used my name. So I was published on like a blog. I made the mistake of like sharing it on Facebook. Then another teacher from my school shared it on Facebook, and she is friends with parents, which I don't friend parents because I have my personal life and I have my professional life. And then a kid's like walks up to me in the hall, luckily fantastic kid. She's like, "Hey, Toxic Fumes Toys." And I was like, It's just like the odd time a kid will be like, "I heard you're in a band." No, I play music with friends sometimes. Not sure what you're talking about, buddy. And I just play dumb. If they ever discover me organically, I have no problem with that. But just, I don't know, kids have an obsession with finding out their teacher. I had a kid who heckled me all year. "What's your Instagram? I look for you all the time." I'm like, "You're not going to find it, but you can keep looking." And it's not like I make any toys that are really like offside for the most part. I play it pretty safe in everything I do. It's more my personality. It's, I don't know, I just like having my own like secret identity, alter ego, I suppose.
So it's nothing that the administration would haul you in for. And like
my principal has come seen my band play.
Nice.
Like he's a really nice guy. He came to see my band play. Sometimes at school when I'm like rushing to meet a deadline, we're in an old school that has this boiler room in the basement, and if I have to clear coat my toys and it's winter, because that's a no-no to clear coat in the house, I get in a lot of trouble. I go down to the boiler room and I just blast the crap out of toys with a clear coat down there. And the odd time somebody will be like, "What's that smell?" I don't know. And then the principal saw me coming out of there one time because you need a special key, but the janitor likes me. And he's just like, "What were you doing down there?" And I was like, "I was making toys." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then I showed him and he's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool, neat."
He thought you're down there doing drugs, like doing lines or smoking some weed.
I guess that's how some people would get through the school day. I keep it clean.
That's awesome. So this is the toy you did for us.
Romer.
And it's really mashing up two of my favorite things right now.
You had mentioned that.
The artwork is by an artist also on Instagram called Non-Heinous. And so you had seen this image, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I have the print right here that I purchased when he put it out. So there was the print of it. He had put that out. I thought it was fantastic. I reached out to him and was just like, "I really like your idea for this. How would you feel about a toy for it?" And he was like, "I think that'd be rad. I've never had one of my creations made into a toy. Like, let's do it." And then he's been super supportive like the whole way along and making the art for it. He's really excited. So,
he's super excited. Now, what's funny is that I know him from before because he uses a lot of Garbage Pail Kid motifs in his work, and I collect like bootleg Garbage Pail Kid stuff. Bootleg meaning anytime an artist or a creator uses some sort of Garbage Pail Kid, theme or idea in their work, and they make, prints, pins, cards, stickers, that kind of stuff. I usually chase after that kind of stuff.
Have you seen the card that he's making for BigHerc Toys is putting out a second run of shoes? I can show you the first pair, but he made a new Garbage Pail Kid style one that I think may only come with the shoes. That's like
What?
Melvin Junko on one side and the Toxic Crusader on the other side. I can't remember which character that would be like riffing off of, but it's like.
So I have to buy the pair of shoes to get the card?
I'll show you the shoes.
Oh, shit.
Where's this arrow thing that you guys have been talking all about? There we go. So this is like my Toxic Crusaders zone. So the toy was definitely made out of love. I love the Toxic Crusaders. These are the shoes he just put out, these high tops here. So he's now putting out a shoe with Apocalypse ink in it, with just the bad guys on it, and then utilizing like with these little cards here, there's like the more purple and green versus the orange and green. He's doing like that for the next run of shoes that he's doing.
Whoa, and you even have like the little like shelf talker, like that's crazy. Yeah,
I can't remember who made that for me. Some dude off Facebook a long time ago made me little shelf talkers for it.
Wow. So that's made. That wasn't like from the Playmates.
No,
back in the day.
I wish. That would be super cool. I collect most things I can find with Toxie on them. So I would love to have those, but
I'm just looking. I would like a graded set of the original figures, and the problem is every time, this has happened 3 or 4 times, that I buy them, the way the people pack them, the blisters just pop off the card.
They're not super well adhered, I don't think, either. Like, looking at some of mine, I definitely have blister lift on some of them.
It's just so hard to keep them on. And then the very first ones were numbered and have that sticker. And then the later ones don't have that sticker. So I have a couple of the vehicles too, and I got in a fight with this guy because he just, he took the little the little wind sail thing and he just put it in a bubble mailer, and it just so mad. Like, and then now the prices just keep rising and rising. And I have a nice mint complete set of the loose ones, and I took them to AFA to grade, and AFA is like, we're not grading anything but Star Wars, no custom. Oh, God. So first world problems. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I've definitely found, like, since I've started my Toxic Crusader stuff, there's some stuff that's just insane. Like, I'm glad I tracked down the Game Boy game, because that is just like only going up and up and up. And it was at a point where it was like $70 and I passed on it and then tried to get it later, and it had already gone up to like $100 at that point, to the point I think I saw a sealed Game Boy Toxic Crusaders go, I think, for like $2,000 on eBay or something like that.
Yeah, so the investors have jumped in on video games, especially if they're sealed. And there's actually 2 dueling grading companies right now. AFA, who does the action figures, also has something called VGA where they grade them, but I believe they will only grade sealed brand new games, as far as I understand. And then
grading sealed games kills me. I get it, but I don't like playing games.
Of course. And then there's another company that has been grading games, and they will do the qualified grade where they open it, make sure it has all the pieces, and give it a grade. And then there's obviously the sealed ones. But if you get a high grade, if you go to heritage.com and you log in and just look at the prices on video games, we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars for, Super Mario. Like, it's mind-boggling. And I guess I should have predicted, that this, because the people who are in the video game industry now, like the video game industry is like rivaling like movies in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people whose names you don't know who are making games that are grossing, hundreds of millions of dollars. And there are a lot of people in that industry with a lot of money that credit a lot of these early games. And now that someone has figured out a way to grade them and turn them into like a blue chip you know, product that they can sink their money into. We're just looking at $5, $10, $20,000 for a video game. It's like, oh.
I can't remember who you were talking to yesterday, but you were talking about like the collector cards too. And I almost feel like that video game is on like the tail end of that. Like in the 80s, like everybody started stockpiling all their comics because the early comics were supposed to be worth a lot. So you have like bags of those, which are now worthless, but video games were disposable, like dumping Nintendo games where they were just going to garage sales. No one was holding on to them because I don't think they thought they would have the value, right? And that's how the value is created in the nostalgia market 20 years later.
Yeah. But let's talk about you. How did you start? That's why you're here. How did you, what was it that made you want to make toys? How were you exposed to the whole resin market?
All right. I'm completely prepared to answer. Oh, my cat just jumped in on the interview, but
that's totally
this will get interesting. Get out of here, Jubilee. Okay, so I think it worked out probably almost 5 years ago. I purchased my first, I guess, like true resin action figure. Resin was like sort of on my radar 5 years ago, just through like Masters of the Universe stuff. But the first one I got, and I have him here with me, he is making his 5-year, this is his 5-year birthday this month. This is Rick, made by the Angry Beast. He was the first actual resin figure that I purchased. So I purchased it from him. It turned out that he lived in Toronto. And at that point in time, I was frequently setting up at vintage markets. Actually, wait, Scott Cherry's saying something, so I might be lying. He just reminded me. This could actually be my first resin action figure. This is, he knows who it is. It's Chainsaw Skeletor. It was like a Kickstarter, so he could buy a pressure pot. So this may actually be the first one, but this is the one that started me going. So at that point in time, as I said, I was selling vintage toys and stuff like that. And Lab Monkey #9 we sort of met each other, and I think I may have viewed him as an enemy at the beginning because I was heavy into collecting. This isn't like crazy resin bootleg beef or anything like that. I was collecting KO action figures. So like your Masters of the Universe knockoff style stuff. I was super big into those at the time. And we were both buying from the same seller on Instagram. And this guy was like, oh yeah, another Canadian guy is actually buying from me. And I was like, who is this person? So he linked me up to his Instagram profile, Lab Monkey #9. And at that point in time, I think it's fair to say Lab Monkey was making really large scale, like art show items rather than more of the smaller scale stuff he makes now. But we met each other at an art show. Or at a toy show. We started talking. He started trading me like his stuff for vintage figures that I had. And then eventually I just sort of said, like, I think I'd like to make toys. I gave that question everybody asked, would you be willing to teach me? And probably just because I had some stuff he wanted, he was like, yeah, I'll teach you how to make them. So I went to his studio in Toronto and he helped me mold this guy, which is the Creature Teacher. I'm a big Creature from the Black Lagoon fan. And this was just like an easy, I think I did 4 molds to make it. This one's not articulated or anything. I didn't move to that till a little bit later, but this was the first toy I produced with the help of Lab Monkey #9. So, and then the 3 of us have always just been in contact ever since. We do lots of markets together and work together in art shows while they do the work. I just show up and bring the toys because I don't live in Toronto, so I can't help with that.
Got it. So when you do this market, is there any fear that some kid from school is going to wander by?
Most of the punk rock markets I do, a lot of them are like, I do Toronto, I do London, I've done Oshawa, which all may be meaningless names to you down.
So probably not. No local kid is traveling to the punk rock market.
No, and if they did, that would be the organic finding me that I don't mind. But yeah, although they definitely spread it when they went to school. Although a kid once saw me selling vintage toys at an event, he just sort of like looked at me and he was probably thinking, oh man, Mr. Countryman's a loser. Like, yeah, you're not wrong. It is New Year's Eve and I'm selling toys in a convention center. So you might be onto something, bud.
Wow, that's amazing. So just so anyone watching knows, there are only 5 Tromers left in the store. It was an edition of 25, and so this is one that utilized the larger blisters that we have, and you opted to keep the blister openable because you are one of those crazy people that like to articulate your figures and cast individual pieces and drill them and glue magnets in them and make sure the polarity is right.
And not only do I make sure the polarity is right, Lab Monkey, myself, Angry Beast, I think Magoob Toys, maybe Eric Clement, we all actually work. I'll just grab a different toy I have here. So here's like a He-Hulk figure that I made for a fan expo a little while ago. All of our toys have matching polarities whenever we do it.
You coordinate your polarities so that you can mix and match. How do you coordinate polarities?
It is called the Angry Beast Lab Monkey #9 Magnetic Protocol. That was a name that they came up with, and I just decided I was a part of it. But it makes for a lot of fun at art shows, because whenever we do have art shows, we end up just making weird hybrids of all our toys. And I like toys to be played with. Like, I can show you my resin toy collection. Pretty much everything is loose. I couldn't take it off the card if I got a carded figure, so mostly I just don't buy carded figures. Right. And that was why still, like, I don't know, it's just my preference to make toys like this. It's just more fun to me. And the options are then unlimited to switch parts.
That is a level of sickness that I am fortunately familiar with. What's it? ABLM9 Magnetic Protocol. Thank you, Adam. Yes. Skill says coordinated polarities is some next level shit. That's correct. Wow.
And I won't give away Adam's alter ego, so he also plays at Koi like I do.
I see. So I see a lot of things on the walls behind you.
Yeah, do you want a tour?
Yeah, like I see the monster, the Playmate monster. So
I've got tons of stuff, man.
You have an affinity for Playmates.
I have an affinity for just stuff that interests me, and because I don't have kids like taking money from me, I end up spending it in ways I probably shouldn't. So that is buying action. I guess depends who you're asking. If my girlfriend is currently on this feed, she would say I'm spending it on the wrong things. But all right, so we got like some Hasbro wrestling people up there. This is more like superhero-ish stuff. There's a Neil Ewing Swamp Thing. He did awesome on that. That's Pam Toys, I think. I try to link my stuff together. There's the Cops line, which I'm a big fan of, and I ended up bootlegging Big Boss at one point. Hordak shelf, there's some bootleg stuff there. Good Leg Toys, I got those from a friend of mine who was like early into it before I did. Down here, just like some randoms, my He-Hulk, my Skelethanos, which people bug me to make, but the armor was so annoying to construct. Oh, there's my partner calling me a hoarder. She's not wrong. Then I've got like a Punisher set down here, so I love that Punisher van too, the war van. Then I have like all the domestic Masters of the Universe toys, which was my first experience at completing a toy line, which was actually super disappointing when that happened. I felt like all the wind went out of my sails and lost purpose.
Wow.
These are Monster Force figures, which I'm a very big fan of. Super short-lived cartoon, but very cool, like based on Universal monster type stuff, like a Frankenstein, a Dracula, Wolfman, Creature. Then I have my whole Creature from the Black Lagoon thing here, which there's like a fair bit of stuff. I can't remember who made that for me. I'd have to put his name in the comments after. I hate not remembering people, but he did me like a custom one with my band's name on it and some like custom pins that related to our band.
Is that Homer? Is that Homer Creature?
Not mine. That's a Mexican bootleg I got off eBay.
Yeah, I've bought so many from that guy. He does.
They're amazing.
Everything, and they're like $10. It's like $10, but $10 shipping.
There's a Skip Row Toys Creature. There's a Dollar Slice two-tone Creature, and then a bunch more random stuff. Battle Tribes one. Couple masks. That super sad Don Post mask that is probably exhibiting how you don't own latex, you just rent it.
Yeah.
X-Men collection. This was probably my biggest collection as a kid. I love X-Men. I collect X-Men comics, so it was sort of natural. Mighty Crusaders, I think, is a super underrated toy line. They're very cool. I got the whole set in just one show, luckily. Some Black Star stuff, random KOs, Bugmen of Insecta, which are fantastic little dudes. And then, yeah, Warrior Beasts and such. Not a real jewel thief. That's a Zolotroph figure. AWA Remco wrestlers, more KOs, and then a turtle cabinet. And these were probably what started me loving toys again, was finding out they made a creature from the Black Lagoon Ninja Turtle. And after that, it was like all bets were off, and I went sort of crazy.
Those are great. Okay. That is, well, you know, if you ever come to LA and want to visit, it always, you know, it's what I was telling Steve Sansweet. I don't know if you caught that interview. It's like going over to his house kind of cured me, you know. And then I as I did my warehouse tour the other day, people were commenting about how.
I think I commented on it.
That was your comment?
Like, I feel guilty sometimes about a closet full of long boxes, and
that was you.
That was me, yeah.
Yeah, then I just look out here into the warehouse, and I was like, holy shit, like, yeah. It's also difficult when you sustain yourself selling the stuff, because it I don't know, creates an added dimension of, you know, the disease, because collecting is a disease. And
yeah,
for any of you that I have infected, I apologize. Man, all right, so what is next for you before we go? What is on the horizon?
Tonight, actually, opening, I guess it would be in like 2 hours. There's a show at the Mothership Gallery, an Arcade Invader show, so I have 2 pieces in that.
Awesome.
For that one, it was like a video game based toy, and this is the first time I've used Star Wars figures, because I'm not a big fan. Well, they don't resonate with me like they do other people, but this is Roger Wilco. So I'm not sure if anyone is in the chat or yourself are familiar. He was a space janitor in a video game called Space Quest. It was like a Microsoft DOS game. So I have 2 variations of him. I just tried to follow the color schemes of each game. So there's like a version 1 and a version 2, just based on this is the color he was in the first game, this is the color he was in the second game. Other than that, I mean, I don't do a lot of large scale releases. I more just do stuff when I want to do stuff, because I don't make toys for a living. I have the teaching job, so I just get to sort of have fun with it. Which
I guess that was the larger question. I mean, like so, you know, I asked about the future, and I got an answer about what you're doing tonight. I guess what is the greater goal? I mean, are you going to continue to, you know, be like, you know, Batman and like be Bruce Wayne like during the day, and then, you know, make your toys at night?
Yeah, I don't have any aspirations to take this to like a full-time job. I like how it's like my side hustle. I like how I can go into the basement and blow off some steam making the toys that I like. I like getting out to hang out with my friends when we do a gallery show, or when I do like punk rock flea markets, meeting people and sort of introducing them to resin toys and what it's all about. I feel personally, if I tried to make it a full-time job, I probably wouldn't like it.
So you're into just like keeping it fun. Well, let me ask you the converse question.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy teaching? I mean, do you get a lot out of that?
Yeah, I like working with kids. Kids are enjoyable to work with. It's a good time.
Even the one that heckle you like all semester, like, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? Yeah,
because I heckled her, because her dad's a local professional wrestler, so I would heckle her about that right back, and we had a good time with that. I got a signed photo of him as a gift at one point in time.
Wow, the perks of being a teacher.
Yeah, it pays off in the business to be in there.
That's amazing.
How much time do you have left?
We got someone coming on in a minute, but we can go over a little bit if you got something to.
I just want to showcase.
If you got some gold for us. Oh, okay.
So this right here is the Toy Ronto shelf. So we got 8-Bit Mike in there, Slime City Toys, Angry Beast, a bunch of Angry Beast, Naomi Knaf, Lab Monkey number 9, Eric Clement. If people don't know him, he is an amazing painter who paints for a living. This is a super cool toy by Darth Salesman. It's an Emperor Penguin, as you can see, which sort of hits the Batman stuff. We got Leash Toys, Magoob in the back there. And then I think I saw Fionn pop up, so I know he likes his sightings. There he is if you're a cult member. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean, one of the things I loved about making resin toys in the first place was the fact that I could trade people and I could get lots of cool toys that I wanted, and it became a currency in and of itself to get other neat items that I wanted to get.
I kind of did the same thing with the Garbage Pail Kids. Like eventually to get a bootleg Garbage Pail Kid card from a tattoo artist who like just has their business card, to get them to take one and like put it in an envelope and send it to me, you know, got kind of difficult. And I'd be like, hey, I'll send you $10, just grab 10 of them and put them in an envelope. And it's like, it wasn't about the money. It's like, hey, but do you want to trade? So eventually I just made my own card and we trade. And then that seemed equitable to them because they felt weird, like taking money out of it. Anyway.
Yeah. Last thing I'll show you is this guy. I don't know if I'll ever make him. He was the dads of the universe. I sort of was going to build a line based on like your prototypical dads. Like, you know, if you're going to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. I'm really good at barbecuing and drinking beers while wearing my jorts outside in the winter. So I was going to make a whole line about that. It still may come, but yeah, I enjoy toy making. I enjoy the relationships I've made from being able to make toys and having conversations with people. So
definitely. I think that's one of, you know, I think that's one of my favorite parts of it. And, unfortunately, like DKECON was the place where we finally get to like meet people. So one day, all you guys from Toronto are going to have to come out to DesignerCon.
It's definitely been talked. We had Mind's Eye Toys brought basically a sample from a lot of us there. That was the first place I think Tromer went before you sort of said, can you keep it to yourself and let's do something with it?
Right.
I was like,
when I see something, it's like, this is amazing. Like, can you not show it to anyone now for 6 months? And you're like, ah.
And that was very easy to do because I think the only reason I finished that toy run is because a global pandemic hit and I had a lot more time on my hands to make toys.
Right.
All right. Sorry for keeping extra. I don't mean to jump into someone else's time.
It's really great. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
With us. Hey, thanks for being a part of it.
So,
you know, and this figure is amazing. There are only 5 left last time I checked.
Buy.
5.
Consume.
So, consume. Buy. Yes, indeed.
And then once you buy it, buy more of my stuff or buy more of my friends' things so you can mix and match and make cool creations instead.
Wow. Do you guys have a logo for
Toyronto?
No. What did you call it? It was the
Angry Beast Lab Monkey number 9 Magnetic Protocol, ABLM9 Magnetic Protocol. I'm pretty sure we have a logo for it. I think Magoob might have made one at one point in time, or Lab Monkey did. I'm not very good at making logos, so
I think one of you has to make the logo, put it on a sticker, and all of you get a roll of it. And every product that you put out with that like needs the sticker. It's kind of like, you know, like the Glio system. Like,
yes.
You know, Matt Dowdy just keeps making stuff for people. And if he makes a toy for you, he just makes sure it's compatible with his line. So he can like, you know, so.
Yeah, because it keeps you being able to play with toys, which is always fun.
Absolutely. Thank you again. We really appreciate you and all your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me, guys.
Take care. Take care. Woohoo! That was fun. I love it when like people are sitting in front of all their toys and then they just turn around and it's like boom and you're like, holy shit. Then I don't feel so bad.